refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes. They gonna take it.
You want me to get out of hell?
I've been fan doing this.
I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Coach, on the best FFC, the best show in fantasy, and that is FFC. How are you guys doing? Let's get a little cheers for everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We have a great show for you guys today, a Week 10 episode. Yeah, not doing too happy. I did lose in fantasy this week. That one was a little bit of a gut wrencher. Because I lost, I needed to win to separate. I needed Lance to lose. He did lose, but we all have the same record, so he's still above me. I'm in fourth place now. And we have another player who won, so I believe his record is now tied with us because he won. So two people actually. So it got real close. That fast, like Buddha is still one. He's still leading in the league. He's 9-1, killer roster. Tell you, man, I already I'm losing next week, and I play him next week. This week I'll be just fine. I'll bounce right back. I have no worries about this week. Last week it's not that it was a problem. You know how you need, and you know what? It happens to me every single year with a running back. It happened to me with Kareem Hunt when he was a rookie. It was just one of those games. He didn't do bad. He had 80 total yards, right? But all I got was 8 points. That was like my last year playing. No. That was not my last. That was his rookie year. He had 80 yards in the game. It was a prime time game. It was either Thursday. I want to say it was Thursday night. It was either Thursday or Sunday night. Thursday or Monday night. Or could have been Monday night because I probably needed to. I think I needed him to win. So it was Monday night. It was Monday night. He was the last player I had. I needed to win. I lost because he only got me 8 points, and I think I needed like 13 out of him. Basically, I needed a touchdown, and he could. He was in the end zone every single week to that point, and he didn't get in the end zone in that game. I was like, I broke me, man. I was like, no. I still made it to the playoffs. That was my problem. I just, it's just. It's so sweet. So Kyron basically did it to me this week. He had, 100 total yards, 11 points in fantasy. But I needed a touchdown, and I didn't. So I lost 111 to 105. That one, stung. And because my points were so low, Lance still has more points than me. So bada bing, he stays above me in third place, I think, because I think I got bumped down to fourth. Yeah, I'm down to fourth. Madden 2005. He's the one that separated because he's now 7-3. That's what I was trying to be. He's the one that's 7-3, so he's the one that separated a little bit from everybody. But it's okay. Playoffs is what's more important. And I got about one more loss, and that'd be the Buddha in week 12. And after that, no, 2 more losses. Buddha in week 12. And I might lose last week against Lance. So that would be 6 losses right there, right? That's what we calculated at the beginning of the season when we made our draft, right? We trying to get to the playoffs. Seeding is awesome, but I mean, ranking is awesome, like being in the top, or leading in the league and all that other stuff. But we're trying to get in the playoffs. Playoffs is where it matters because it's a 1-game win. Out, boom, you go. I'm up. and if the matchups are just that favorable for you when the playoffs come, that's what makes it even more beautiful. Let me see what we got going today. We got quite a few items to discuss. Again, we got Week 10 recap. We have our Stallions Donkeys of Week 10, of course. Start and sit Q&As with Coach, so you guys can hit that comment section if you guys have any questions about your lineups. I'm not sure if there's any trades going on. It's after Week 10, so there may be some leagues that push their trade deadline back a little bit. So if you do have trade questions, I'm all ears and I'm ready to help you. If not, if you just right now we're just setting up our lineups right now, dropping and sitting, or dropping and picking up waiver wire pickups. Like I got K-Dot out on a bye week, so I had to pick up Dawson Knox this week. That's about that. That was the best available. And with Kincaid dealing with an issue, so hopefully I get a touchdown with him. Hopefully I can get a little something out of Knox. I got Jaden Reed coming back off the bye week, so that's very good. Hopefully it shows in this week's game. So let's go ahead and get started and see if we got any news and updates to go over in fantasy world. Let's check. Let me see here. Man, did y'all see that game? And I know we're football. Did y'all see how Curry closed that game last night? Oh, that was some good stuff. That was some good football. I mean, that was some hot football. That was some good basketball. Let's see here. What we got here? No, that's something different. Notes. Need my notes. So how'd you guys do in fantasy this week? Do we have any wins, any losses? I know we got to check on the R2L league, see how those guys did over there. I think Tomo took another loss. I think the fantasy gods have maybe withered their love just a bit. They try to make it look real, like they still not going to take him all the way. But see, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna mess it up. All right, let's see here what we got. Here we go. All right, so let's see. Nope, that's not updates. That's news, but not the right news. Where are you? Need my list. All right, here we go. Here we go. So after Monday night, the top scorers in fantasy football right now, we have Jamar Chase at number 1 with 55.4 total fantasy points. Lamar Jackson at 32, Joe Burrow at 31, Jalen Hurts. Wait, it's just oh no, I need total. I got those numbers already. I don't think anybody has the total numbers, but that's fine. So we do have y'all see that situation with CeeDee Lamb. And then Jerry said he ain't changing it because that's supposed to be his advantage. Yet it went against. Like, what is going on in Cowboy football, people? Like, let's be real. Out of everything that could go wrong with the Cowboys, we have a situation where a touchdown could have been scored, right? But now the sun is in our face. Come on, no. Your receiver should not be going to the sideline complaining that he can't see the ball in his own state. That's why y'all can't win. Cowboys got too much internal issues, man. Like, are you serious right now? We're dealing with the fact that This man missed a touchdown because the sun was deliberately in his face. We have actual film watching this poor receiver not be able to secure a ball because in his own house, the sun is in his face. Like, come on, man. Jerry, what are you doing, bro? Like, do you even like football? Really? Do you like football? Oh, my goodness. So, mind you, despite CeeDee Lamb dealing with quarterback issues, dealing with the sun, the Cowboys basically stood still all game long, totaling 146 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 33% target share, which was great, but his 54 air yard was a season low. 6 catches and 10 targets for 21 yards is not great. He's low end wide receiver 2 now. Wow, that's crazy. All right, rotation once again in the Chargers backfield. Let's see, with Gus Edwards back, the backfield looked a lot like it did earlier in the season. The difference was that Gus Edwards actually was relevantly efficient, which gives him more case to hold on to role for now. Dobbins had 15 carries to Edwards 10. He cut into that deep. And for whatever reason, the Chargers had Hassan Haskins vulture a goal line touchdown because nobody saw it coming. That's why. They're trying to win football games. They ain't worried about fantasy right now. Kamani Vidal can be dropped anywhere he's rostered. Dang. And this could be a downgrade for Dobbins if this continues. So the Chargers have a messy backfield right now. Good luck. Marquez Valdez-Scantling stepped up for the Saints with no wide receivers left. Valdez-Scantling came into the rescue and helped the Saints get a surprising win over the Falcons. I told you I didn't like that game. I'm glad I didn't put no money on that game. I did put some money down, though. MVS caught all 3 of his targets for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Despite this line, I wouldn't get too excited to add MVS off of waivers. But I promise you, as desperate as people's rosters are, they're going to scramble for him. We know who he is, and any consistency will go against his career resume. Jaguars offense goes crumbling without Lawrence. I'm going to use the word crumbling. I need to get a beat button. This game was terrible overall. Absolutely, it really was. But there was hardly any offensive production from any Jaguar player. Evan Ingram, and I sat Michael Thomas, Brian Thomas Jr. Evan Ingram led the team. I'm glad I did. Evan Ingram led the team in receiving with 6 catches for 40 yards and 8 targets, 38 target share, 30% target share. But Brian Thomas finished the game with only 2 catches for 12 yards on 3 targets. His 2 games also correlate with the 2 games he's had after his chest injury. He hasn't had a full practice since his injury, but he's playing a full-time role. It's going to be tough to start BTJ next week against the Lions, and I'm not going to do that. That's why I got Jalen Reed coming back. All right. Tajay Spears returns to a significant role. So if anybody has him, in Spears' return, Tony Pollard only played on 53% of snaps compared to the 83 he's been seeing over the last 4 games. It is worth noting that Pollard was a little banged up and had to leave the game for a bit, but Spears did end up with only 2 less carries than Pollard. 1 less target and 2 less routes, so he was pretty involved. This could cap Pollard's floor and upside moving forward if this type of 1A, 1B situation remains, which if it works for the Titans, it will remain. But we need to see Spears actually stay healthy, something he hasn't been able to do all season. All right, let's see what else we got. Colts wide receivers are relevant with Flacco. Hey, I like hearing that. Why not? Let's see. With Michael Pittman out, the Colts got production from all 3 of their starting receivers. Josh Downs led with 29% target share. and dropped an easy touchdown. But Alec Pierce took his 20% target share and actually came through with a touchdown on 4 catches for 81 yards. Good numbers. A.D. Mitchell ended up running a route on 95% of dropbacks and the X receiver. And despite having less targets than Pierce, he looked great. He's likely finishing as a top 24 wide receiver this week by catching all 6 of his targets for 71 yards. Very good. And while Pierce is probably in a safer ad rest of the season, Mitchell has more upside as a player. All right, so Kincaid was on his way to a great game, 40% route run, but the injury just keeps piling up on the Bills pass catching. Amari Cooper and Keon Coleman were out, but it was Khalil Shakir leading the way with a 26% target share and another wide receiver to finish. Dalton Knox would be an option as a tight end streamer next week if Kincaid is out. So, I mean, I don't have a choice. I think he is going to be out, though. I hope so. Aldrich Esteem taking over. The hot hand approach. Oh, I tried to. I tried to snag him. He's gone. I put in my waiver. I'm too high in the waiver. The hot hand approach landed on Aldrich Esteem this week, and it might be over for Javonte Williams. Esteem led the Broncos backfield with 14 carries, with McClellan and Williams combining for 3 carries. Esteem should be rostered, and Williams can no longer be started. It is possible we continue to see this backfield shift, but for now, Esteem is the lead back. Juwan Jennings is that guy, pal. Jennings surprisingly played the Brandon Ayuk role on Sunday and thrived. Despite a ton of playmakers healthy, he led the 49ers with 32% target share and came down with 7 catches for 93 yards off 11 targets. Amazing. This performance combined with the target earning ability he's shown all season, 25% target route means there's a good chance Jennings can be a fantasy 2 wide receiver the rest of the year. Yeah, at this point, with Brandon Ayuk being out, don't get me wrong, Ricky Parcells is a good rookie, but he's a rookie. Like, I got 17 points with Parcell. He's the 3rd option on the team, and now you've got McCaffrey shifting back into his role. You still got to use Mason. You still got Debo, who out here choking. Like, come on, bro. I got Cowboys not being able to see out their own window because of the sun. Like, why is that a problem, Jerry Jones? And now I got a wide receiver out here chokeholding folk because they're missing field goal. When did we start attacking people over missed field goals? Like, no, we can't do that. Like, come on, bro. Like, that kicker had every right to kick him. You don't choke me like that, bro. Like, wow. He's woo. All right. I've seen teammates argue, but Buddy went straight for the neck off a missed field goal. TJ Hawkinson leading wide receivers leading the Vikings in receiving. Hawkinson's role increased in his second week back, going from 60 to 71 route participation, a 26% target share, and a top 5 finish at the position pending Monday Night Football. He's back, and he can safely be placed in lineups moving forward as the rest of the season as a tight end 1. Obviously, yes, that helps the Vikings offense tremendously. It takes a lot of slack off of Jefferson, so we should see a pretty good game for the Vikings next week. I think we can. They can go. Let me see who they play next week. Vikings. Okay, Google. Who do the Vikings play this week?
Last Sunday, the Vikings played the Jaguars. The final score was 12-7 Vikings.
No, I do believe if Trevor Lawrence played that game, the Jaguars win. Okay, Google. Who do the Vikings play in Week 11?
The Vikings will play the Titans on Sunday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, they're gonna beat the Vikings. They're going to beat the Titans. Earlier news report, start TJ Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson against the Titans. All right. Despite Jonathan Brooks being activated to the 53-man roster, he was inactive on Sunday morning. Hubbard took advantage of his workhorse role and sealed that role by taking his 32 touches, nice, for 169 yards and a touchdown. How Brooks works into the backfield is anyone's guess. The Panthers are taking a young approach to their wide receiver corps. So do they let Brooks get work at the expense of Chuba? Or do they let Chuba be the engine of the offense to be able to sustain some production? I would lean towards the latter, this reporter says. Let's see. There's just certain things you see that just make you laugh. What can I say? I've been saying it for a while. Don't get me wrong. They look good for a little bit. I still do like their defense, but yeah, let's get going. The Bears' offense is broken. The Bears' offense has taken a step back since their bye week. What happened? That I'm telling you, them early bye weeks will do that to you, man. With all the talent that they have on offense side of the ball, they are severely underperforming, and it's not all on the rookie quarterback. Although most of the sacks he's taken are on the soldiers. The play design, the play calling, and the lack of scheming things up to make it easier on Caleb are all contributing to this issue. None of the Bears wide receivers are startable right now. Let's hope Corey's offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, is fired this week, which obviously we saw that happen. Let's see. No, I can't read that one. Why is it blurred? No. And I got to read this one because the other one's blurred. Damn it. Calvin really has not gotten it done 3 straight weeks. Jesus. Oh, 10 for 143, 5 for 73, 5 for 82, and 2. That's really good. With 2 different quarterbacks. Once he's started by more managers than ever next week. He'll... Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going ahead. But anyway, I believe it too. He'll crap the bed in true Calvin Ridley fashion. For now, he's trustworthy, but be careful with Calvin Ridley. I'm saying that. I know him wrong. I'm not going to discount his. He's had 3 straight weeks of great performance. Okay, I'm not. He is the focal point of the offense right now, so I'm not going to take away what he's doing. I'll say this. If he plays great against the Vikings this week, right? Let's say the Titans actually upset the Vikings this week, and Calvin Ridley, as the focal point of the offense, is the reason for that. I'll leave Calvin Ridley alone. I won't say another bad thing about Calvin Ridley. Won't say nothing else. I'll keep it professional. I'll always talk about his good accolades. I won't say nothing else. Because, hey, sometimes it just, I don't know. Turn you off. Hold on. Give Coach a second. Give me 1 second. Camera having a little issue. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Yeah, okay. So at least you guys can still hear me. Sometimes it just takes some time for receivers to get to like look at Mike Williams, right? His first game with Pittsburgh, but he looks the happiest he's ever been since he's been in the league. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of y'all liked him in LA. I didn't. I saw the deep threat for what it was, and then that's all I saw. I saw that he can get hurt and he'll be out for a while. Now he's a detriment to the team because, like, where are you at? We need you. It just, but then again, I look at DK Metcalf and, his career was no better than Calvin Ridley. Calvin than Mike Williams. But then again, too, maybe I'm being a little too hard. Maybe the accolades I'm expecting could be overwatered. Maybe 1,000 yards is what this new regime of football players can only get. Maybe that's what's great now, right? 950 to 1,000. Maybe somebody going out there to work for 1,500 yards for 1,200 yards. Maybe that ain't it anymore. I couldn't tell you, to be quite honest with you. Every time I say something about it, I get something said to about it. You know what I mean? Like, or let me see. We're just gonna do it without this camera, since this camera is giving me problems right now. But anyway, need to make my background. Coach have all kind of problems in the morning, right? Jeez. All right. So anyway, it's not that. Where was I going with this soliloquy? I forgot. Anyway, all these technical issues that I messed around and forgot. Anyway, let's keep it moving, right? Let's get back to the news. But yeah, that's what I was saying. If Calvin Ridley has a good game and the Titans can actually win with Calvin Ridley against Minnesota this week, I'll leave Calvin Ridley alone. I won't even say he'll fall back into his old Calvin Ridley ways. I won't even go that. I'll leave him completely alone. All right, so Christian McCaffrey steps back into a bell cow role. It was like he never left. 88% snap share and a 83 route participation that led to his 21% target share. Without scoring a touchdown, Christian McCaffrey is likely going to finish as a running back one this week. He belongs in the lineup as a solid running back one the rest of the way. So I know fantasy fans are so happy to hear that after 10 whole weeks without Christian McCaffrey. All right, Jets offense can't be trusted. The Jets have been playing Jekyll and Hyde all season. We see some good, then we see it turn into crap. We see crap, and then it turns into good. It's very hard. I'm using the word crap, so it's very hard to trust. Last week, both Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams earned high target shares and finished as top 7 fantasy wide receivers. This week, they couldn't crack double-digit fantasy points. Breece Hall has his third subpar fantasy performance in his role, and his rush share dropped to 59% after it bounced back this last week. His target share has taken a hit since Devontae Adams joined. Top 12 upside is there for all, but expect volatility. I hate that word too. Was that the last one? Was it just the last one? Yep. All right, let's move on to our next. All right, so we have boy, if I would have listened to this person, I would have lost all my money. Anyway, week 11 waiver wire targets. Obviously, number one is Aldrich Esteem, who's gone. Ricky Parcell, who I have. Adonai Mitchell is a stash. Elijah Moore with the Browns. John Meach with the Texans. Jalen Warren with the Steelers. Tajay Spears with the Titans. Justin Herbert with the Chargers. Cam Akers is a short-term stash. And Bo Nix, obviously, I do have him as well. I'm going to need him next week. Let's see here. Alec Pierce with the Colts. Russell Wilson with the Steelers. Rashad Bateman with the Ravens. Demario Douglas, who I have as well, with the Patriots. Jonnu Smith, who is actually coming quite long. He's coming along quite well with the Titans, with the Miami offense. I know he had suffered, what was it, a bad drop or turnover? I didn't get to see what happened because I was at work. But I did see that big almost touchdown that he had. Who is that? Kashawn Booty for the Patriots, Jameis Winston for the Browns, MVS for the Saints, Dawson Knox for the Colts, and Tyler Algier for Atlanta. Week 11 streamers. Who's this? Quarterbacks and tight ends. Herbert is a stream against the Cincinnati Bengals. Wilson is a stream against the Baltimore Ravens. Bo Nix is a stream against Atlanta. Jameis Winston is a stream against New Orleans. Drake May is a stream against against the Rams. Against the Rams. Let's see. Tight end Jonnu Smith is a stream against Vegas. Will Disley is a stream against Cincinnati. Zach Ertz is a stream against Philly. Hunter Henry is a stream against the Rams. And Dawson Knox is a stream against the Chiefs. Yeah, let's see here. All righty, let's move on over to our Stallions and Donkeys of week 10. That's always the fun part. See who crapped the bed for us, and let's see who took us to victory. All right, let's see here. Them big boys, them Stallions that won us our fantasy week. Hopefully it is because of that we won. We have Jamar Chase, 11 receptions, 264 freaking yards, and 3 touchdowns for 54.4 fantasy points. Joe Burrow right behind him at 34 for 56. Incompletions, 428 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 6 rushing yards for 33.7 fantasy points. We have Lamar Jackson, 25 for 33 at 290 yards for 4 touchdowns and 33 rushing yards for 32.9 fantasy points. We have Jalen Hurst, 14 for 20 for 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 56 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns and a fumble. Bro, why you 2/3 a player? What's going on? But you have 29.7 fantasy points. You take those 2 turnovers away, you're a beast. Or your fantasy points would be like incredible. Bijan Robinson, 116 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 28 yards for 29.4 fantasy points. So those are the Stallions for week 10. And them stanky donkeys. Who was asked for us this week? DeAndre Swift, 59 rushing yards, 1 reception for 6 yards, 7.5 fantasy points. Zay Flowers, 4 receptions, 34 yards, 7.4 fantasy points. DJ Moore, I don't know why so many people are so high on DJ Moore, but DJ Moore, 3 rushing yards, 3 receptions, 24 yards, 5.7 fantasy points. Sam Darnold, 24 for 38. That's a lot of work. 22 for 241 yards and 3 interceptions. 428 rushing yards. For 6.420. So you basically went down the field all game and just gave it away. Like, come on. Told y'all, bro. Come on. He's returning into form. Lad McConkey, 2 receptions for 52 yards, 7.2 fantasy points. Not good at all. So those were the Stallions and Donkeys for week 10. All right, so we do not have anything left for today because there are no more fantasies that we just went over, or news and fantasies that we just went over, and I do not have anything in the comments. So we will be back tomorrow for our start and sit lineup section. So join me back tomorrow. I do apologize for the lateness. I was an hour late today. I had a lot of things I had to take care of this morning. So I do, Coach does apologize for the lateness, but I will be here tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, ready to go live for our start and sit segment and any further update in fantasy news. And we will do a parlay section. But before we go, where are you? There you go. This is where you can find Coach if you ever need to reach Coach outside of the show. All right. But so I did some parlays. I lost. Only one. Why did I lose that one? Because I'm petty. I told you I'm a very petty person. Okay. And my pettiness cost me money. And I was being petty because I had no business putting money on that Miami Rams game. I had no business. Why? Because Miami was going to win that game. Okay. They controlled the lead. They controlled the game. They controlled the momentum the entire game. Was it close enough where the Rams could have made a comeback? Sure. However, too many turnovers for the Rams. And not enough groundwork for them to act like they wanted to win the football game. They just decided that, let's abandon what we do and just throw the ball around. Where did that ever happen? But I just wanted to see something because I was on a roll. And I needed to see, where does that roll need to stop? You know what I mean? It needs to stop at my petty. Could the Rams have come back and won that game? Yes. Did I need to put men in that game? Nope. Not at all. And I did, and I lost. Here's why I say that. Because I knew deep down that in every way, with them being 2-6, they could have won that game against the Rams. How did I know that? Have you guys noticed? Have you guys seen that Rams secondary? It's bad. There's nobody there. There's nobody in that secondary. And then A-Chain was having I know he didn't score, but I want to say he had a decent game on the ground. A guy you can run on the Rams. Rams offense is the only thing that could have pulled them out of that game because, again, Miami's defense isn't that great. However, they've had injury issues, so they haven't been able to play together in almost a year. You know what I mean? Because they've had injuries from last year that they've still dealt with. So, and then I think they had another injury last night. So they did with more injuries on defense. But outside of last night's game, or not last night, outside of the Monday night game, I say I fared fairly well. Let's see. For the Panthers and Panthers and Giants, I chose the Panthers. Here's why. Now, I thought Dabo had been fired by now, but he wasn't. But the Panthers had nothing to lose in this game. They were going overseas. They were going to go over there, and they were going to go give that country a show, right? You know what the Giants were going to go over there and do? Be the Giants. Like, we're a football team. We're the Giants. We're going to do our best to win. They had no spunk. They had no excitement about it. Like, you're in another country representing your team, and you look bad. Like, I'm not saying the Panthers look so much better. It was 2017 from overtime, but I picked the Panthers to win because the Giants are actually worse. And it showed because I won $8 on a $5 bet. And then I just kept it going. My next bet, I chose Bills to win. I chose the 49ers to win over Tampa Bay. And I chose the Vikings to win over the Jaguars. Why did I pick the Vikings to win over the Jaguars? Jaguars don't have a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is out. All that money sitting on the bench. You thought Matt Jones was going to come in here and beat Minnesota? Really? No. Have you guys seen how bad Mac Jones is? Well, you saw him last night, right? Or the other night, right? Yeah. So that tells you all you need to know about Mac Jones. So I put a $50 bet on those and came off $128.69. And then Sunday night, that was awesome. I wasn't betting yet, but I waited because I did the same thing with I'm missing a bet because I'm missing one. I won one more. Yes, the Ravens and Bengals. So now I had not Bengals. I had Ravens winning that game for one specific fact. They had to. They were 1-1 in the division. They beat them Bengals already. Then they lost to the Browns. They could not come back and lose to the Bengals for one simple fact. They got Pittsburgh this week. They got the Eagles next week. Then they got the Browns again. So they got to stack wins against a Pittsburgh team who has not played a division game yet. Now they're basically about to fight for number one. Because why? If Pittsburgh beats the Ravens this week, they're number one because they'll have one division win. Now, Pittsburgh is about to go on a back-to-back division schedule, but they'll be number one because they beat the Ravens, so their record will be better. 2, they beat the Ravens, so now they are 1-0 in the division, where the Ravens will be 2-2. See how that works? So it was imperative by any means, no matter what Vegas said, no matter what the gods said, no matter what people say football is fake say, it doesn't matter. They have to win this game, or it's going to be bad in the next 3-4 weeks. They won. Now, did I put money on it when I said that? Nope. The money line was ugly. I didn't like it. I didn't like the payout. So halftime came, and I looked at the score. I said, Ravens gonna mess around winning this game. Mind you, it's halftime 21-7. They scored 21 points in 2 quarters and controlled most of the clock, right? But it was only a 14 points. It was only a 14-point lead. It was only a 14-point lead going into halftime or coming out of halftime. That's a lot of time for that Ravens offense to score 2 touchdowns in 2 quarters and hold that offense as best they can. And they did, and then they went lights out crazy again. They scored with it nuts. But they won. And at halftime, when I looked at the money line, they didn't lock it. What was it? On an $8 on an $8 bet, the payout was $27.20. Of course I took that. And I won. So I'm up on $27 on Ravens. I'm up $8 on Panthers. And then I'm up at $128 on, what was that? Bills, 49ers, and Vikings. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, but 3 separate tickets. And then here comes the Lions and the Texans. Now, what do I know about football? I know I told you people to stay away from C.J. Stroud in his sophomore season. I did not know Goff was going to sit here and throw 5 interceptions in a game and win. He did. Now, it wasn't 5 interceptions. Last year it was 3. I want to say they had 5 total turnovers. That's the information I can't find. But they still won that game, and I think it was David Montgomery with the 2 touchdowns, not Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs was going. He had the rushing yards. But anyway, it was week 10 though when it happened, when he peaked. When I told you he peaked, and well, it seems that Goff peaked again. We can take him out of MVP talk. That will never happen again. The 5 interceptions in one game completely removes you. Sorry, bye. Let's infuse Derrick Henry with his 1,000 rushing yards in 10 games and off 11 touchdowns. Let's infuse that. Let's keep that ball rolling as an MVP, even though he's just competing with his own teammate. But going into that Texas Lions game, I didn't see all that turnovers and crap happening. But the offense for the Lions is very powerful. They're very strong. And the defense is really, really good. Good enough that a Texans offense with only one receiver is not going to be able to do much. Sorry, it's not. Not against those hungry. Not against Aiden Hudson. Not against that. Not against that defensive front. Ain't gonna happen. So I wanted the Detroit Lions over Texas. However, seeing as I've tried something a couple times, I said, well, let me try it again. I know they're gonna win, right? So let's wait. It was locked. Vegas locked. I said, oh, that's one of the moments when they locked it. Mind you, the Lions were down. And then they opened it. Ding! Right at halftime. And it was a $5 wager for a $21 payout. Thank you. Oh, no, that's not what it was. They did have it open, and I was checking because I remember I went to go watch the game, and they had it open, and I did not like the money line. That's what it was. I didn't like anything about that money line, so I left it alone, and I just kept checking. And I mind you, the score was perfect for me because again, I'm telling you, the Lions are gonna win. That's when I seen it. When I left Maxwell's, I went to the car to go home. And right before I pulled off, I checked the money line, $5.21. Didn't give me that. Let's go. And I went home, enjoyed the rest of that game, and I enjoyed my account sitting at $176 in positive. So it was so nice. That was really, really nice. Yeah. Mind you, what was it before? Mind you, look at this now. Look at this. My very first parlay, it was a 5-bet, lost. Commanders, Falcons, Bengals, under 45, under 46 for one thing, and Patriots lost. $10 bet lost. My son wanted to do a 3-bet parlay for basketball, lost. 4-bet parlay, I did $5 bet lost. Let's see, I did a SGD. What is this? SGP Max. That was my very first bet, and I was like, no, never do those. Lost, right? Then I did my very first 3-leg. I did my very first 3-leg parlay. And I put the Eagles to win, the Lions to win, and the Rams to win. I put a $5 bet, won $18. I said, okay. So that's when I decided I prefer 3-bet parlays over 5. I just seem to hit money on those or on single tickets, right? So then I started to, because on that same one that I won the 18, I lost a $5 bet on a 4-bet. And I lost that one. I lost a $5 ticket on the Colts beating the Vikings. You couldn't believe that. Anyway, 3 bets and single tickets are where I like it. And that's where I hit Ravens. I hit the Ravens on the $8, $27 ticket paid out. Panthers on a $5 wager. I got $8 paid out. My 3-bet parlay, Bills, 49ers, Vikings. I $50 hit 128. Lions, $5 wager, hit 21. And I just lost the Rams, $20. And mind you, I did it on purpose. So I put a $20 wager out there. That is my highest one outside of the 50 that I put out there. I knew for a fact they weren't going to win. But it was for my sanity. I needed to see the Rams lose. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's just like, don't get too greedy betting. You see what I'm saying? Nowhere in that game did it say the Rams were going to win. Could they have? In a way, they could have. But if you really watch that game, Miami controlled most of the momentum. The Ravens, for instance, the Ravens and Bengals game. It wasn't that the Bengals were dominating. It was that the Ravens were dealing with penalties. They were dealing with also just a lot of ignorant stuff. They weren't turning the ball over. inconsistent stuff, right? That they needed to clean up. Same thing with Detroit. Inconsistent. No, they had turnovers. How they won that with 5 turnovers would be. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, now we got a couple comments before we almost got out of here. Z Smitty, what we got? Who would you rather have the rest of the season, Love or Baker? I'm thinking of trying to package Love and Deontay for Njoku and Baker. I'm gonna go look at the numbers, but if I had to be quite honest with you, let's look at it this way. I had the Packers at the beginning of the season in the Super Bowl with the Chief Pete's. However, I have since removed them since Love's injury and his return, and it's not that they're subpar play. They have a tough schedule, and he's been hurt. Reed's been hurt. Josh Jacobs has been amazing, but the defense is a bit banged up, if I'm not mistaken. So they're dealing with more than what the Lions are dealing with. The Lions are taking off. So for me, Lions are on top. Green Bay is obviously playing for me underneath that. Why do I say that? Give me 1 second, because even though Todd Bowles hasn't answered my my question about what he gonna do now with his offense depleted and Baker Mayfield doing everything in God's power, but that defense is so bad. I gotta go with Baker, bro. That schedule is. I gotta go with Baker. He played a tough San Francisco 49 defense, right? But he played a tough Kansas City Chiefs defense and went crazy. He's tired. He played 10 weeks of football. The last 3.5 or 2.5. Last 2 have been without his 2.5 have been without his starting receiver. No, 3.5, because they lost them bad boys, I think, against Baltimore. I think he lost his receivers against Baltimore. So he's been without them all this time, and San Francisco was his only lowest number. But you have the Giants, who are hot, trashed garbage. You have Carolina. Yeah, they're looking okay, but no. Vegas, they're about to fire Antonio Pierce. The Chargers is where it gets a little dicey, but he might be okay because Mike Williams should be ready to go, especially let me see. He got 1, 2, 3. He should be ready to go against the Giants. So that'd be good if Mike Williams is back from hamstring. And I think he was back against San Francisco, but I got to double check. You got Dallas, they're trash. Dak said hop off his $60 million. If they don't, hop off. They suck. These are coming from the $60 million a year quarterback, not from me. Then they got Carolina again, which should be okay again, and then they got New Orleans to finish. So I kind of like Baker's schedule the rest of the way. Let me look at Love. The numbers aren't different, but he has Chicago, San Francisco, Miami, Detroit, Seattle. Oh, yeah, bro. We might have to go back up Mayfield, bro. It's simply because, and if you're trying to stack more wins, right? You're trying to stack points right now. So it's simply because Baker's schedule is 10 times easier than that of Jordan Love. And I'm a Jordan Love fan. Again, I sat here and said I had the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs before the season started. Like, I had them in the Super Bowl going up against the Chief Pete's. It's going to be golf and his 5 interceptions against the Chief Pete's, brother. Them Lions look real good. Them Lions look good. So do these guys. I'm so happy. But them Lions look real good. And you know why I say that about this? I'm not to jump off, but to answer your question, Yeah, see if you can package Love and Deontay for Njoku and Baker. I like that. Absolutely. The reason why I point to this and say this, the Patriots should have never. I'm a Patriots fan. You understand what I'm telling you? And from the draft all the way through, I've always said we should have never gotten Drake May. You want to know why I said that? Drake May should have never gone that late. You know who Drake May? You know who he should be playing for right now? And it's because of that cannon of an arm that he has. He should be a Viking. That's where he should have went. They should not have taken him. I've watched McCarthy. I watched McCarthy at Michigan his entire career at Michigan. He gets hurt. You know, he never finished the season except for his national championship season. He gets hurt every year. And here he is, beginning of his NFL career. He's hurt. But Drake May would have been a better fit for what he does as a quarterback for that offense in Minnesota, where you're not relying on Sam Darnold to basically finish out your season. I get it. He's your fill-in for the whole season. I got it. You wouldn't need that if you would have went the right direction when I was Drake May. Now, the Patriots absolutely said, oh, well, of course, thank you. But for the Patriots, it was Bo Nix and Drake May, and they didn't have to move. So, you see what I'm saying? So I'm happy because we got a quarterback, and now we just need to build everything else around that. So we'll be back. Let's move on to DDURZ. Yo, should I trade Joe Mixon for Aaron Jones and Terry? Let's see. Joe Mixon, Ricky Parcell for Aaron Jones and Terry McLaurin. No. You don't want to get rid of Ricky Parcell. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. He played his third game. Let me show you something about Ricky Parcell real quick. Let me break it down real quick. Do the numbers for you. He hadn't played since he got shot. He was supposed to be back week 5, but let's not rush. Week 7 in his first game. First game as a rookie. First game after not being able to play for 6 weeks. He had 5 targets. He caught 3. Nerves. 21 yards, right? 7 yards per average. Okay. He comes in against Dallas. Who's up? Four targets, 4 receptions, 38 yards, 1 carry, 39 yards, 11 points, by the way. Has a bye week. So now that wound is resting even more. He comes back. He goes against Tampa Bay, who has a crappy secondary. Six targets, mind you. This is 6 targets with a Jawan Jennings and a Deebo Samuels on the other sides, right? Mind you, with a George Kittle. We're going to look at the numbers, by the way, because I told y'all whenever this offense is filled up, George Kittle falls down in numbers. We're going to check on that in a minute. Now, on top of that, you got Jordan Mason, and you've got an 83% target share of Christian McCaffrey back on the field in full gear, ready, full load now. He came back, he got his full load. Yet Parcells, a rookie, 6 targets, 4 receptions. He went from 21 to 38 to a bye week to to 73 yards. He went from 7 yards on average per catch to 9.5 off of 4 for 4 and 38 yards. He averaged 9.5 yards a catch. And then he went 6 for 4 for 73 yards, averaging 18.3 yards a catch. Oh, and by the way, what else did he secure? A touchdown. What does that mean? Oh, those are just incremental numbers that continue to climb. He is a slot receiver. He is going up against a nickel corner. He is going to feast. I understand how glamorous it looks with Terry, but let me ask you this. Who are your other receivers? Who else do you have that's making you want Terry and making you want to get rid of Ricky? Mixon for Jones, I can agree with. Jones is having a better upside with the Vikings. And if I'm not mistaken, Mixon is about to hit a stone wall in the schedule. And his numbers may decline. Let me see. I don't know, bro. Mixon has been no. One thing I will never do to you is lead you astray. I can't do it to the people that follow me. Besides, follow, subscribe, and please share. I am not ESPN. That would actually hurt you more than it would help you. You keep Ricky Parcells for the increment numbers. I understand Terry is looking good, and we're gonna go look at his numbers in a minute. But this is why you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot get rid of Joe Mixon. Week 1, he had 26 points, right? 30 carries, 159 yards. Screw week 2. That Chicago defense was heated and ready to go. They stopped him. It hurt him. He was out for another 3 weeks, right? He comes back week 6. He comes back week 6 off of 13 carries, 102 rushing yards. That's 7 yards a carry and a touchdown. Then also on top of that, he decides to go ahead and catch 2 for 30 and a touchdown. We got 27 points in fantasy, right? He goes up against a tough Green Bay defense at Green Bay. 25 carries is how they put the ball in his hands. 25 times they put the ball in his hands. 115 yards, 4 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, right? 26 points in fantasy. He goes up against Indiana. They're not good. He shows it, and that's a division game. 25 carries off 102 yards, another 4.1 yards a carry, and a touchdown. 23.4 yards. 23.4 points. He goes up against what was supposed to be a top 5 defense in the New York Jets until they fired Salza, which was stupid. Hold on. Okay, Google. Who hired Robert Salza?
These pictures should match.
No. Let me see. Who? I know he went somewhere and they're loving him. Robert Salza. Robert Salza. Yeah, there you go, right there. Let's see. Where is it? No. Let me see. Is it Saleh? Jets fired coach. I gotta get his name. Saleh. I'm spelling it wrong. That's what it is. Okay. Saleh. Let me see. Where is he at now? Where is Robert Saleh now? I'm gonna find the information. Oh, okay. Oh, that defense for the Green Bay Packers is about to be a beast next year. That's where he's at. Right now he's on the practice field, and he'll move up next year. Anyway, so mind you, that Jets defense Didn't lose any personnel. 24 carries, 106 yards, 4.4 yards a carry, a touchdown, 16 points, right? He goes up against Detroit. That's good. They're a good team. 25 carries. He only had 46 yards. That's really bad, right? 1.8 yards a carry. They stuffed him. But he still was able to smother in a touchdown. 17 points, right? He's got Dallas, no defense. Tennessee, no defense. Jacksonville, no defense. Miami, it gets tough for Miami when he gets to Miami, maybe. Kansas City for sure. And I think he'll be fine against Baltimore because that defense is not good. As you saw, Chase Brown had a good day. And then he finishes off with Tennessee. At worst, with the rest of the schedule, you may have 2 low-scoring games. And when I say low-scoring, maybe the 8 that he got you in week 2 against Chicago. But outside of that, dude has scored out of, let's see, how many weeks has he played? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has played 7 weeks of football. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 8 touchdowns. He has 7 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. I'm not sure I want to give that up for Aaron Jones. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. And Aaron Jones got a questionable tag. And Aaron Jones's numbers have been as similar. But Aaron Jones does have a touchdown. Again, the numbers are just as similar, but he only has 3 touchdowns on the season. You know they're at least, God, think about what I'm saying. Mixon is the bell cow who had 30 carries, 25 carries. He only had 46 yards rushing, and they still gave it to him when the time to score. Mind you, their offense is depleted. They don't have Diggs. Tight end's not doing much. You got Dell, and you got Nico Collins when he comes off injury, but they still basically need Joe Mixon. You see what I'm saying? Aaron Jones, his numbers could possibly take a hit because TJ Hawkinson is playing lights out, and unfortunately, when they get into a bind, they're going to dump the ball off. Now, is he a part of those dump offs? Yeah, he has a lot of 5 catches for 30, 46 yards. That's, those numbers are very, very important. But so does Mixon. It's like you're trading the same player for the same player. You know what I mean? Because last but not least, let's look at Terry to make sure I'm not bumming you on the trade kind of if this is who you wanted. Again, Terry's numbers are great. Terry's are great, but let's look at Terry's rest of the schedule. Because I showed you Parcells' rest of his schedule, and it's a beauty, right? Not Scary Terry's. So you got Philly this week. Dallas, you'll be okay. Tennessee, you should be fine. That's 2 weeks out of the 3, right? Because I'm looking at Philly. That Philly game. That Philly game could be a 16-point game. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, Terry's and Ricky Purcell's schedule, they look pretty. They look the same. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's only had 2 low-scoring games. That was in week 1 and 2. He's got Philly this week though, in Dallas, and then Tennessee is like I'm not worried about Dallas and Tennessee. He'll bounce back in those 2 games. He has a bye week. He should be fine against New Orleans. They don't have a defense. He's got Philly again, and he's got Atlanta, whose defense is okay. And then he finishes off at Dallas again. I don't know, bro. You might be off. You might have to, because I just looked at your receivers that you said they got. You got Tyreek Hill, Sutton, and Waddle. Question: do you need? Yeah, he has. That's what I'm saying. Terry's been amazing. If I went and looked at the numbers, I had to go look at the numbers before I said yes or no. And it's like, I get it. Ricky's numbers are climbing, but he's going against a lot of feasters. And there is a chance Parcel could it's like, for instance, this week, it's a chance like his numbers may not be that high. Due to the fact there's a lot of miles over there. Like I named all of them. Yeah, he's in the slot. Yes, his opportunities are better, but it's a lot of miles over there. Whereas it is for Terry, he is the mouth. He is getting fed. And he's going up against some secondaries that are not the greatest, to be honest. It's not like he's playing the Chiefs. It's not like he's playing what's another great, amazing secondary? It's not like he's playing Chicago. It's not like he's playing Pittsburgh. I think the Chargers have a pretty good Chargers have a decent secondary, so you're not dealing with that. The Denver Broncos, you ain't got to deal with. So, I mean, like I said, you're dealing with Philly, whose secondary is weak. You're dealing with Dallas, who suck. You got Tennessee, who I hope everybody's hopping off that bandwagon because that defense is not good. You got New Orleans, whose defense isn't good. You got Philly. You got Atlanta. Again, Atlanta's defense is good, but you can score on them. Like, they don't have corners that are going to stop Terry. They have a good front. Because, again, I got Atlanta in the playoffs, and I got them losing the minute they go up against the 1 seed in the national in the NFC Championship game. That defense is just not ready for that kind of problems. So I want to see how we can get Terry on your team. Because you got Barkley, beautiful. You've got Mixon, obviously. Waddle, Sutton. So you do need Terry. And you were going to trade Mixon. You're going to trade Parcel and Mixon. So you know what? Yeah. Nah, don't do Mixon, though. You got to keep Mixon. That one I don't want you to do. I think I have a trade for you. You may not like it. But if you want Terry, you're going to have to do it. Because you can't lose Mixon. It's basically you have to sacrifice. Oh, tooth. Bruh. I almost used a bad word. Waddle. Trade Ricky Parcell and Waddle for Terry McLaurin. That way you don't lose Joe Mixon. And you don't need Aaron Jones. The whole purpose, you see what I'm saying? You're right. I'm telling you. So we keep Mixon. We trade Parcel and what did I say? Parcel and Waddle, the highest paid number 2 wide receiver in the world, whose numbers, jeez, like, that's bad. You got paid all that money and you get no numbers. But anyway, whatever. This is the NFL, I guess. Yeah, trade Waddle. Let him feel superior because, he wants to give me Waddle. Yeah, take Waddle. Because, yeah, I get it. I do get it. That boy that used his head is back. But what has Waddle done? Nothing. Why? Because you got to feed Tyreek. Sorry. So he might get excited by seeing you put up Waddle and you're putting up Parcel for Terry. He should be able to bite on that. He should. He might look at it a little skepticism. Hopefully he doesn't want a running back from you. Yeah, we can't get rid of Mixon. We got to keep that. He's been going for, again, dude has scored 8 touchdowns in the 7 games that he's played. He missed 2 games due to injury. No, 4 games due to injury. Comes back and continues to ball for the Texans. He's not going anywhere. Thank you. Hey, subscribe, like, and share. That's all I can ask. Bring more people for the entertainment. I'm here for you. I promise you. I'm trying to get you to win. As you see on my parlay tickets, I win. So look, I'm here for you guys to win fantasy. I'm here for you guys to win real money. I'm not here to take your money. I don't even ask you guys for your money. I ask for your subscription. That's it. It's a free subscription for you guys to come here every week, Wednesday and Thursday, and watch me do this. I'll talk football. That's it. I made a bet with somebody at work who was very adamant about Miami winning. Again, I shook that man's hand and said, "All right, bro, I'll give you 10." That's the tone that I said. I don't like Miami. I'm a patriot. I don't like Miami, and I lost to them. You know, it's bitter. It's a bitter thing between me and this team. And Kyrie Williams went up against them and could put up no numbers. I only got 10 points out of him. I needed 16 to win. So I lost, what was it, 111, 105. It is what it is. I'm 6-4 now. 4th place. So I'm always crap on him. But you know what's funny? When I saw Buddy, because he knows this is what I do, when he came, he was like, no. What am I going to do with $10? Go put that on a ticket for me. Hey, I appreciate that, bro. I'm sitting on cash. I got you. Like, that's respect. That's respect. I ain't scared. I lose money. I win money, though. That's what I do. This is what I do. This is football. All this thing with football is not the fact that I'm a betting man. I just know football, and I just know who to put my money on. Like, I'm not telling you to put your money on the person for you to lose. No, I know where your money should go. I know in fantasy who should be on your team. Like, I'm going to look at the numbers. The numbers are going to tell me every bit of the story that I need. Again, trading for Aaron Jones isn't bad. You're just trading away Joe Mixon for Aaron Jones. Yeah, you're just trading the same thing. And I just feel upside-wise, schedule-wise, the fact that the Texans kind of got to push more all out, I'm riding with that. I feel the Vikings are going to hit a wall here soon. And they're gonna tinkle. They're gonna have some more up and down games than they will have more upper games. Basically, the Texans will have more upside. And remember, I tell people to stay away from C.J. Stroud this year. Yeah, he was great last year. He's a rookie, and that rookie gave 31 other head defensive coordinators every identity of that what he was. And if he didn't come up with nothing new this year, they were going to stonewall him, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's being stonewalled. A lot of sophomores go through this in the league. This is nothing new, okay? Nothing new at all. That's why I say in fantasy, just don't touch him. I didn't say don't touch Tank Dell. I took Tank Dell. I didn't say don't touch Nico Collins. I couldn't get Nico. I didn't say don't take Joe Mixon. I was weary. I was hoping he would be what he is with them now. He's more than that. So I just said stay away from Stroud. I just said whatever you guys were looking for as a quarterback, you weren't going to get those kind of numbers out of him that you did last year. It just wasn't going to happen in his sophomore year. Next year, guess what I'm taking as my quarterback? C.J. Stroud. Duh. You got to know how to play the game, baby. C.J. Stroud is going for like 40 touchdowns next year. He's going to be a beast. I promise you. Maybe 38. But he'll have like maybe 10 or 8 rushing touchdowns on top of it. So, yeah, I'm taking C.J. Stroud as my quarterback next year. You see what I'm saying? Like, not in the sophomore year. This is his learning year. Last year was not his learning year. Last year was his rookie year. Last year, it means, bye, rookie, go. Like, ain't nothing for you to learn right now. You got to go play. He's learning right now. What I mean by learning, he mentally is learning how to deal with tough games, how to deal with adversity, how to deal with coming back from a game, how to deal with 2-minute drills. There's a lot that comes. And you mind you, when I say learning, you're learning as you're dealing with defenses who know what you do. Now you have to learn how to combat that. That's not easy. You came out all last year. And then this year, you're like, wait, I don't want to go over there no more. Yeah, they shut that down, didn't they? They got them eyes wide, like, oh, yeah, that's what they do. That's what's supposed to happen. And you're supposed to learn from that. That's what makes you a better quarterback. That's why Patrick Mahomes not everybody's a Patrick Mahomes. Not everybody's a Tom Brady. You feel me? Not everybody's a Peyton Manning. Not everybody's an Eli. Well, a lot of people are Eli Manning. But you know what you do have? You have more Breezes. You have more Phillip Rivers. You see what I'm saying? You have more Ben Roethlisbergers, right? Those are the guys you have more of. Okay, so and those are guys who actually have gone through more sophomore year adversities. It happens. It really does. All that means is, like, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. What I'm telling you is, as this pertains to fantasy football, those are numbers. His numbers are not numbers you would have wanted this year. Like, they're low for a quarterback. And I'm assuming you took him with a 4th, 5th pick. That's low. I mean, that's too high for him. You would have been better off taking Burrow in his late start. Or you've been like me with your 3rd pick, took Josh Allen. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's strategic. But I did say stay away from CJ Stroud. I said that all summer. I said that going into the preseason. I said that going into the draft. If you're on your team, you just didn't want to listen to me, and you thought you knew what you were doing, and now you have to deal with the fact that you got CJ Stroud sitting here making you look bad in fantasy and losing all these games, and all I could sit here and say was, well, I told you not to draft CJ Stroud, or who's there? I don't know, Stephon Diggs. I laugh at you all who draft Stephon Diggs. Every single last one of you get a laugh at. I sit here with my camera, with these eyes and this smile, and I laugh. Type. You feel me? Why? Why do I do that? Well, let's take it back, because ever since the dawn of time and this brain went in my head, I've told every single last one of you every year, stop drafting Stephon Diggs. He will not do anything for you after week 9. He will fall. Why? He can't play in the cold. 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 He cannot play in the cold, right? Every year it gets cold, what happens to his numbers? 2 for 30, 0 for 0, 3 for 3, 3 for 30, 1 for 15. They're crappy. Every time November's weather changes his temperature, he plays like booty. Now, why is that relevantly important? It's not the fact that he can't play in the cold in Houston. It's wonderful weather. Where is he? It is week 9 and 10, right? Where's Stephon Diggs? Is he on your roster? Is he catching you passes right now? Did he get you a touchdown? Because remember, he only does that from week 1 through 9. Now, granted, it ain't cold, but what happened? Oh, somebody out here went and got hurt. And it's just ironic that the timeshare and value of Stephon Diggs just still hit. He is no good after week 9. Because now he ain't even playing. Now he's on coach's couch with all these other injured players watching with us. Man, I ain't done a coach's couch segment in a long time. Those are for my injured players. But I mean, what else? What am I like? Come on, like, I mean, I'm not. Look, I know an injury is separate from a no-show, but at the end of the day, his production, no matter how you look at it, injury-wise or lack of production-wise, Stephon Diggs plays no football after week 9. There's no other way I can put it except for that. You feel me? Like, when I tell you guys to stay away from people listen to me. I told you all to go draft Bijan Robinson, but I said draft him with your first pick. Why did I say draft him with your first pick? Because I didn't want you all to draft McCaffrey with your first pick. Because why? Where has McCaffrey been for 8-9 weeks? He had a whole. Sorry, my camera's acting up again. He had a whole Madden cover thing, and I tell you, I'm superstitious, but I was on Madden. What happened? Boom, gone. 8-9 weeks. Now, this was before because I told this. It was so funny because I even said it the week that he came up with an injury. I said, watch him not play. watch. I said, why? And he didn't. And he did. And then it got worse, right? I told y'all to stay away from McCaffrey this year. I said Stephon. I said Bijan number 1. I said Breece Hall number 2. That one I was wrong on. It should have been. No, I think I had Derrick Henry number 2 or 3. I had Breece Hall up there, but I should have had him lower. He was the one I missed out on. But Bijan is tearing it up right now. Did it take its time? Yes. The new quarterback just got there. Chemistry has to grow. There's a lot that goes with a lot of that stuff, okay? Same thing I said about Mooney, who's Cousins' new favorite target. Same thing I said about Mooney. Same thing. I said the same thing about Mooney, right? When the season started, I said, oh, Mooney went to the Atlanta Falcons. I said, go get Mooney. Nobody wanted to listen. I said, look, I'm telling y'all, Mooney, I get it. Y'all told me he was the number 1 receiver with the Chicago Bears, right? I said, no, he's not. He might have the ability, but I said, you see that quarterback that can't throw past 5 yards for him? That ain't he ain't gonna get no number 1 wide receiver numbers, so you shouldn't have drafted him that high. However, come over to Atlanta where they got Drake London, where they got Bijan Robinson, where they got Tyler Algier, where they got Kyle Pitts. Now they got money. And what happens? Well, this number 1 receiver, who's the 4th option, is getting easy targets against single coverage, which I told y'all what was going to happen. Chemistry still needed to build, don't get me wrong. And then who became his favorite target? Mooney. And because his favorite target and Mooney can catch, and Mooney out here balling, and so is Drake London, who's rushing the heck out the football? Oh, I don't know. Bijan Robinson. And it ain't going to do nothing to get better because they're going to win 11 games to get to the playoffs. So, I know what I'm talking about. I also tell you all the weary part about your draft pick. Not every draft pick is a perfect pick. I drafted Justin Herbert. Boom, he was out. Oops. Oops. I'm done now. I ain't got a quarterback. So trust me, I know. But yeah, oh, let's get back. The only problem is Ricky isn't startable right now because their offense has so. But I started him. I started him since he got back on the field, and I haven't had a problem with it. I've started Ricky every game. And the fact that his numbers have inclined will allow you to trade for it. It will allow you to trade him away to get Terry. Because when if dude is a numbers guy, he go look at the number, he's gonna see. Oh, okay, he gave me Ricky. Oh, exactly. I get it. I said there's mouths to feed, but again, he's actually look at his target value. He's getting 5 to 7 targets a game. Excuse me, in the 3 games that he's played, right? He's a rookie. That's very substantial. That's very, very substantial. But they also have the ability to slide away if they get into an issue. And get into any issue, they want to go more towards the vets, guys that he knows gets it, Purdy knows gets it done, i.e. McCaffrey, Debo, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? Whereas Terry is the guy. No matter what, he gonna have to get his. So it would be behoove to give up Waddle, who's a great option for Miami, right? And Parcells, so you can get a great return in a number 1 wide receiver because you already have a number 1 wide receiver in Hill. See? So now you got 2 wide receivers and one of them is in the number 2 slot. I'm from Houston. And don't get me wrong, I think Houston, they'll be fine. They're going to be in the playoffs. Absolutely. They're going to win the division. Again, it's just, you got to remember, young rookie quarterbacks some of them go through a slump. And here's the slump that I'm talking about. I want to say with his passing yards, CJ Stroud ran the ball more than he did last year. More last year than he did this year, if I'm not mistaken. I do have to go back and look at that because I see him sit in the pocket so much more this year. And why? He's trying to be more dimensional. Some people think it's not. Like, why aren't you using your legs? He don't want to use them right now because he's trying to. He's being beat by defensive coordinators, right? What is the intelligent thing to do? Not run to what you know how to do. That's how you become one-dimensional. No, you stand through the adversity and you figure it out. Who had to do that? Jordan Love did the same exact thing. That's why he looks so good right now. His only difference was he got to sit behind Aaron Rodgers a while. So his adversity time was already gone. It was, you got to show up now when it's your turn. That's all he had because adversity is over. You've been here for 4 years. You see what I'm saying? It's a little different. CJ Stroud got thrown into the fire. It's going to look good, your rookie. See, that's Purdy. When he got thrown in late, it looked great. He had an 8-game sample that he gave defense coordinators that next year. That's why he couldn't do nothing in the 3 games. He lost his defensive line, his receiver, and his left tackle. They got film on you, and now you're one-dimensional, and they ate that up. Now, when he loses somebody this year, what does Purdy do? They fill in. Are they dealing with them? They're dealing with more than just one injury. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we're dealing with 49ers dealing with a slap of injuries again. Like, it's crazy. But they're a tougher team than what the injuries are showing them to be. And through the adversity, they still, Purdy this year in his 4th year, is playing tougher than he did in his sophomore year. You see what I'm saying? Sophomores, quarterbacks have to go through adversity if they want to expand what they do in today's football. Back then, remember, they were all pocket passers. That was it. Or you were just a runner. These new guys are trying to be developed more in their arsenal each year, but certain types of that arsenal comes with inconsistencies, ugly plays, you know, like, why would he do that? He didn't do that last year. I know he didn't do that last year. That's the point. He's trying to figure out how to get past this stellar defense. How else is that going to make him great? You see what I'm saying? That's what makes you great, fighting through the adversity. That's why I just sat here and said, who's my quarterback next year? CJ Stroud. You see? Let's see. Can you choose 2? Tillman, Jennings, and DJ Moore. Tillman and Jennings. I'm not touching DJ Moore. I'm not touching that. I don't like DJ Moore. I don't know what people see in DJ Moore. We always keep saying he don't have a quarterback. He don't have a quarterback. He don't have a quarterback. He keeps taking his behind the teams. They don't have a quarterback. So I can't defend him. And then he got paid from Chicago. Y'all knew this boy was throwing flat balls as a rookie when he got to the team. He had a few good weeks, and y'all thought he was the next thing. No, Caleb Williams. Like I said, he's been playing good, and now it's getting ugly again. And what is he doing? Getting mad on the sideline, pouting on the sideline. Nah, pimp, this is football. So no, I'm not touching no parts of DJ Moore. It's Tillman and Jennings all the way. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I hope he went on your team. If he was, I'm sorry. I'm still laughing. If he wasn't, hey, you can laugh with me. You know what's sad about that, bro? It ain't changed. Let me tell you something about Houston. That offensive line has been bad since the days of Derek Carr, David's older brother, or David Carr. Whichever Carr is the oldest. Let me find out so I don't mess up. David Carr. That's how bad that defense, that offensive line has been bad. Okay, let me take you back a bit, right? So you have a new franchise team in the Houston Texans who don't have any players, so they're all free agents, right? They don't have much to build on, right? Now you're getting some draft. You got Andre Johnson. That's great. You got a good quarterback in David Carr. That's great. You did nothing for that offensive line. Okay, when you could have done something, anything for that offense. And I mean anything. You could have got Reggie Bush. No, you didn't get Reggie Bush. Who did you go get? You went and got Mario Williams. Why did you get Mario Williams? Mario Williams was getting beat up by 2 linemen every game. If that's why you went and got him, it didn't mean anything because the rest of your defense wasn't good. So he's getting his behind beat up because he's the best defender there, but he has no business on this team because this team has nothing else, including what? No offensive line. How else do I know this? Y'all remember this guy named Michael Vick? Yeah. Michael Vick was the leading rusher in the NFL. In one year, when David Carr was a Texan, guess who was number 2? Oh, David Carr. You want to know why? Because if that boy wasn't the most sacked quarterback in the league, he was number 2 in rushing behind Vick, ready for his doggone life. That line has been bad for that long. When did David Carr come to the NFL and the football? Oh, I remember because I graduated high school, 2002. That's how bad this offensive line has been. I'm not lying. Like, this is no joke. This is not me being funny right now. I know I'm laughing because that's how funny it is. This offensive line has been this bad. I am 40 years old. I graduated at 18, and that is how long this offensive line has looked this bad. Please, tell me somebody out there tell me where I'm wrong. Somebody out there tell me where the Texans have led rush. I mean, they're leading rush now, but every quarterback that has been back there gets sacked. Everyone. Matt Schaub, the 2 rookies that play behind Matt Schaub, Savage, and the other one that I liked, I can't remember his name, Watson. And then you know what the worst part is? Their stats are always the same. The most sacked quarterback. The Houston Texans do not know how to protect the quarterback. I'm sorry. They don't draft offensive linemen. They don't pay offensive linemen to come to Houston, which, by the way, is the dumbest thing that I've ever always wondered, when Houston is probably one of the best cities to live in as it financially stable because of the no state taxes. And the cost of living is the lowest in that big state. And you don't pay offensive linemen to come protect your quarterback? I don't get it. I really don't. But that's the issue, is that's how long this offensive line has been bad. Yeah, no, none. Well, I can tell you, it makes me laugh at the lack of investment the Houston Texans put into this team after they were the Houston Oilers. When they were the Houston Oilers, you saw it. But ever since these boys became the Texans, there was a year where quarterbacks had a field day with the secondary. They were putting up 45 points on the Texans defense. Brady opened up a can of worms, and then everybody else just went AWOL on the Houston defense. Like, now that the defense is back right again, their offensive line again stays bad. It's like they can fix the defense, but for some reason, I don't understand it, they cannot fix this offensive line. I don't. It's baffling to me. I can never sit here and tell you one time that I've known the Houston Texans offensive line to be the top 10 in the league. I couldn't tell you. They get put out in the first round. They get put out in wild card weekend too much to even be able to say you that. So nah. CJ ain't going to no Raiders, man. The Raiders are about to have a top 5 draft pick. They're going to draft their quarterback of the future. I would say this year. Raiders ain't. CJ ain't going nowhere. CJ not going nowhere. He likes Houston. He loves Houston. They love him there. He is the replacement of Deshaun Watson. boy, that boy get catered in Houston. He gonna get paid too, by the way. He will get a paycheck. If he doesn't get extended next year, his third year to keep it cheap, but pay him out big, then if he can take Houston to the second round next year, he'll get paid. He's gonna get a nice contract. Not next year, the year after. I think it's fourth year. I think going into his fourth year, he'll get his contract, something like that. CJ will get paid by Houston. Now, there's no doubt about that. He's on fire. He's just going through the fact that 31 brilliant-minded defensive coordinators all have film on him. They sat home all summer and watched every quarterback. That's what they did, and they have a file of all the rookies they got to go up against this year. They got a file of all the veteran quarterbacks they got to go up against this year. They got a file of all the sophomores they got to go up against. They keep track of all that, so they got to understand how they're going to want this team to come in and handle. The defenses don't play the same way every week. You have to play to the strength of that quarterback every week. Why do you think division games are so tough? They're tougher than any other game because why? You know this person, you know this team, you know this organization, you know the visiting locker room. It's almost like it's your second home. You feel me? Your fans come and try to crowd the home team stadium, knowing doggone well home team tickets have already been sold, and y'all ain't got enough seats for the visitors. But they sold because where the rest of them at? Where the rest of them at? Outside the stadium, tailgating, screaming. They don't give a damn that they couldn't get inside. They hit for their team. Oh, I love football. Our passion just jumps so high when I talk football, man. I love this sport. But no, CJ's not going anywhere. What they're gonna do for the Houston Texans after this draft, swear to God, they will draft an offensive lineman. They will fix this offensive line. DeMeco Ryans understands what's going on. One thing you can't do, you can't make mid-season trades and free agent offensive line pickups. You can't do it. An offensive line why do you think the minute one offensive lineman goes down, the entire line goes complete? The entire line. Because it's a whole unit. Same with the linebacking core. It's a unit. They have to move in unison. And if one piece of the unit is out, it's screwed. I'm sorry. I don't care who you fill in. He's going to do his job, but he has not swung in unison. So he will be in the way. He will miss a space. You see what I mean? Like, it's just different when you haven't done it together. So you can't make offensive line moves right now. You actually have to wait, and you have to start from free agent frenzy. You have to start from there. You can do trades after Super Bowl, whatever trades, like after Super Bowl ends and like that Monday week after, you'll see a lot of trades happening, right? A lot of people getting released, a lot of trades happening because these boys are getting ready for free agent frenzy. Okay, that's another. So what they need to do is make trades for offensive linemen, free agent frenzy, and then draft. They have to do it that way. If they do not do it like that, they are going to screw over CJ Stroud. Worse than Watson, because he's going to need rub downs next. I'm sorry. I have no clue. It will fly off the mouth. That's why I stutter a lot, because other words will be ready to come out of my mouth, and I have to stutter so that I can catch it, so that I don't say it, because I don't have a bleep button yet. But anyway, this turned into a 34-minute show to an hour and 44 minutes, because again, like I tell you guys, I will sit here and run my mouth all day about football. I love this sport so much, and I love it so much that I try to help everybody win money, win their fantasy, because I've done that. I've moved on. I'm be honest with you. I'm trying to see what it's like being a professional bettor. Because I mean, if I start hitting more parlays the way I think I'm going to start hitting the rest of this, because again, let's take y'all back to let me see if I can find a number. There's a certain number that I keep very close to my heart. It was a few seasons ago. It was when I really started with Refuse to Lose. It was my first year with them. But I was doing something, and then I kind of got invited because I was doing something solo. I was doing like a Spotify podcast. That's what I was doing, called On the Field. It was On the Field Podcasting. That's what it was called. So all you got was my voice. And I got found by somebody on Instagram when I was doing my posts. Ooh, I need to keep that. And I need to ship that over. All right. So let me see if I can find it real quick. So it was basically numbers that I kept for myself. I tallied numbers because I was doing my picks every week of teams that I would, pick to win or lose every week. And I did it from week 1 all the way to week 18. And, I had some weeks in there that were rough, like week 6 through 9. That get pretty rough for me, especially Halloween week. Like, it gets really ugly. No, it's not here. I know where it is. It's over here. Where are you at? Did I put it over here? Let me see. I want to find it because I want to say it out loud, and I don't want to get the numbers wrong. That's why I'm looking for it. Give me 1 second. Let me see. There it is. Okay, I found it. I must have went right over it. All right, so week 17. I went 100. So total, after all said and done, I had 183 wins. 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. I had 183 wins, 90 losses, and 1 tie for the whole season of 2022. That's what that was after week 17. So I don't think I got week 18 in there. Did I make my picks for week 18 though? Because if I at least made my picks, then I could do the nope. Anyway, that's how I predict. I'm literally saying who I believe is going to win or lose based off everything I know about football, based off everything I know about all these organizations, based off the players' skills, based off of what teams do in 2-minute drills, how great they are at moving the ball within 2 minutes in a 6-minute set, in a 10-minute set. Like I look at all of that, and that's how I make my predictions. So I know football. This is love for me. You feel me? Like I do this for fun, and it'll never stop. CJ loves LA. Only reason why I said that. So be afraid that he could go to the Rams. That's what I'd be afraid of, because Matthew Stafford is not going to be there much longer. But I don't see CJ moving. Like, you got to think, if CJ goes anywhere outside of Houston, you got like 10 years before that happens. Maybe 9, maybe 8. Because remember, he's going to get paid with Houston first, and they're not trading him. You know what I mean? He would have to become a free agent, and in order for a quarterback to be a free agent, you have to kind of suck. Kind of. You know what I mean? He doesn't suck. So Houston's got their quarterback for at least another 7 years at minimum. 12 at max if he stays in Houston, Texas. And that's if they get that man some protection. But hey, look, I really enjoyed today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I've been on here for 2 hours almost now. I trust me, I am not complaining whatsoever. But we do have another show tomorrow. So yes, please stay tuned. We'll be back at 8:30. We have our starting sits. We have more Q&As with Coach about your lineups, and we have some parlays to pick. All right. So we have a big day tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Don't be square. I'll see you guys there. Coach is out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.